There are many intermediate operations in stream. So in the last video, we saw the stream generation methods, how to generate a new stream from a source, then an example of the terminal operation for each where we consume the values from the stream and we conclude the stream and we get a result. Similarly, there are intermediate operations. What they do, they transform the stream. They are not the terminal operation, but they are used to set up the pipeline multiple steps in the stream processing. So here if we see we have a source, then maybe we called a stream generation method and we get a stream of type T. Then we call an intermediate operation 1. What it does, it consumes or it processes the stream of type T and generates a new stream of type R because T has been transformed into R. Similarly, in the pipeline, if we have another intermediate operation 2, then it will transform the stream of R to stream of U. Now R, U and T, they can be same, they can be different. It's up to the implementation and the type of methods that we are using and what kind of transformation are we applying. It depends on that. But the thing is, for any intermediate operation, the input is the stream and the output is again the stream, but in a transformed form. Okay. Then in the end, we may call the terminal operation, which will basically generate the result. So in this video, we will be focusing on one of the most important intermediate operations, map, that is used to map one object to another object. So it transforms the value. Let's start. So here in the main class, we have a record, simple record of type movie. So we have bunch of attributes of movie, int id, string title, character, int release year, then an array of side characters. Then we are initializing a collection, a list of 3 movies. All right. Now in the main method, because we know how to generate a stream from a collection to, so on the list class, on the list, we call the stream method. So we have the stream. Then on the stream, we are calling the for each, which is a terminal operation. What it will do, it will get one movie at a time from the list, and for each movie it will apply the system.out.println on that movie to print the movie on the console. This is basically the consumer that we are passing to the for each. So let's run the main method and see what it does. So it printed all the movie objects from the list to the console. And if you see the side characters, because this is an array, so it called the toString on the array, which basically prints the instance or the object of the array and the hash code. So this is the array object that was initialized for each of the movie object. Okay. But the problem here is that maybe we don't want to print the whole movie. Maybe we just want to print the title of the movie. How do we do that? Because in the stream, when we call the stream, it basically creates a new stream of type movie. So if we see that this is a stream of type E, and E here is movie, so we have the stream of movies. All right. So one way to do that is maybe we can update the consumer, because we know the consumer consumes a value. So we can do something like this. We get the movie object, and then here we can print the title. And now if we run the program, we see the title. This is one way of achieving the same thing. Now the another or the cleaner way would be to use the map operation. So let me revert this code and do the same thing with the map method, because the purpose of the map is to, as the name suggests, to map the value from one type to another type. So let's use the map Now map accepts a function. Let's implement that function. Implement methods, apply, because this is a functional interface. So the input to this method is the movie object. Here we see that when we call the stream with the help of IDE, this is the hint that at this step we have a stream of movie. But right now the output of the map method is stream of object. So this is same what we discussed. The intermediate operation transforms a stream. Now it's up to us what kind of transformation do we want to do here. So let's say we are interested in the title, and title is a string. So we change this object to a stream. As soon as we do that, we see the type has been changed to a stream of string. So we see that the map method, what it did, it changed the type of stream. The input was stream of movies, but the output here is stream of string, and the stream of string will be passed down to the for each consumer. So the for each method will receive the string values. All right. So let's update the function and let's put the code, the mapping that we want to do. So what we want to do is from the movie, we want to convert the output to the title because we want to fetch the title. And now let's change this to the lambda. So we simply what we can do is we can remove this and the arrow sign. There is no arrow function in the Java, and that's it. Now if we run the same code again, we should see the titles on the console. So the Dark Knight, LOTR and matrix, and the type remains the same, stream of string. There is another way to do the same. Instead of using this lambda, what we can do, we can simply use the method reference. So we can do movie : title. It is technically the same thing, and we can verify that if we run the program, we see the same output. So that is possible with the map method. Map method maps the items from the input stream to another output stream, and then if we call the terminal operation, we can do whatever we want to do with that value. So this is the map method. Now let's move on to before we move on, let me cover one more thing. So because the type was string, because we were interested in the title, so we used movie.title, and this was basically the stream. Now let's say we want to print the rating. So to do that, what we did, we called the rating method here. This one. So if we run the code, we should see the ratings on the console. 10, 10 and 10. But if you notice, the stream of movie is now converted into a stream of integer. Since we are dealing with the integer and stream has ample support of primitive streams and primitive types, so instead of using the map method to convert it into an integer value, maybe there is a primitive version of the map method that we can use here. So if we search the API, we see a map to int, map to double and map to long. So these are the primitive versions of the map method. Here, because we are interested in the rating, which is an integer, so instead of calling the map and creating a stream of integer, which is a wrapper, we can call map to int. And now movie : rating. So notice that the type has now been changed to int stream, which is a primitive stream. So there is no overhead of boxing and unboxing. And let's run the program. And we see the same output, 10, 10, 10 ratings on the console. So we covered map and map to int. Now let's move on. Let's say now we want to print the side characters, which is basically an array in the movie object. So we know what we need to do. We call the map method, and we have the input movie. So we called movie dot side characters. And if we use the method reference, then we can say movie colon colon side characters. So we see that it was a stream of movie, but now after the map method, it is a stream of string array. And then we are calling system.out.println, a terminal operation on the stream of string array. So let's run the program and let's see if we are able to see the side characters on the console. But here we see the individual array objects on the console. The requirement was to print the side characters on the console. So let's say for the first movie, the expectation was to see the Joker and Mr. Fox on the console. Then for the second movie, Sam, Frodo, and Gandalf. But here map method is doing something else. Because the side characters method returns an array. So what it did, it converted the stream of movies to stream of string array. And when we called the println method on each individual element, so it called the toString method on a string array. Because after the map method, the individual element of the stream is an array, and in the terminal operation we are calling the println method on individual elements. So that is basically the toString call on the string array object. And that's why we see the string array object on the console. But that's not something that we want to do. So obviously there is another variant of map method that can flatten the array or any collection that is there in the object. And so if we are interested in the individual elements of that collection, we need to flatten that collection, we need to flatten that object. To do that, we use another method, which is flatMap. It again accepts a function, so let's try to see what we can do with it. So flatMap returns a stream consisting of the results of replacing each element of this stream with the contents of a mapped stream produced by applying the provided mapping function to each element. So it accepts a mapper function. What it does, it returns a stream, and the flatMap will return the elements, the individual elements from that stream. So let's try to implement it. We know that this is a string array and each element is a string. So this will be a stream of type string. Okay. Then the input is the movie and the output is basically a stream of string. So what we need to do is movie dot side characters. This is the array, but we need the stream based on this array. So what we need to do is we know how to generate a stream from the array. To do that, we simply call arrays dot stream. So what we are doing in flatMap is, from each movie we are first getting the array of side characters, then we are converting that array into a stream, then that stream is being passed to the flatMap. So what flatMap will do, it will flatten the stream and it will get the individual elements from that stream. Earlier we were not getting the individual elements, we simply got the string object, and that's why we saw that string object on the console. But now because we are returning a stream from that array and that stream is being handled by the flatMap to get the individual elements, so now if we run the program, we should see the individual elements on the console. And we can verify that because we see the type stream of string as the output of flatMap. Earlier it was string array. So let's run the same program again. And now we see the individual names: Joker, Mr. Fox, Sam, Frodo, Gandalf. So that's how we use the flat map. We covered 3 methods: map, map to int, and flat map. Thank you. See you in the next video.